Hi, I'm Dr. Yael Respler, and today I have a very exciting message for you. And the message is from Project Derech. And really, I'm going to help you learn about the mitzvah of Kibbud Av V'Em and how to communicate and appreciate your parents. And I want to start with a very interesting story. And the story is of Dama, the son of Nesina. And Dama, he's not even a Jewish person. But we really learned so much from him. He would stand, and he was standing in front of all the people, and he was very important, and he was standing with the Roman people. And his mother, who was not so mentally stable, came up, and she tore his cloak. And he stood there. He did not want to cause her embarrassment. He just stood there. He stood there very, very calmly, and then she began to pick up a shoe and hit him. And she dropped the shoe. So he picked up the shoe and he returned it to her. I mean, can you imagine? He had such respect for his mother that he didn't want to embarrass her, even though she wasn't mentally stable. And you, Baruch Hashem, you have such special parents, and they care about you, and they love you, and they really, really want to do everything for you. I think though the mitzvah of Derech Eretz is challenging sometimes, I think that really, it's really something very important. And it'll make you a more special person. In fact, we learned about Rabbi Tarfon. He was in the yard with his mother, in the courtyard. His mother's shoe tore. What did he do? He stood, he put his hands under her feet, and she walked all the way on his hands till they got home. Can you imagine? Now, again, this was an extreme showing of Derech Eretz, an extreme showing of Kibbud Av V'Em. What are our parents? Our parents are partners with Hashem. And as such, they deserve the greatest appreciation in life. They really deserve great appreciation. We should treat them like kings and queens. And we should consider them that way, because they're extremely important. And what does the mitzvah of Kibbud Av V'Em actually do for you as a person? It actually helps develop your personality. It helps you become a better person. It helps you actually be eventually a better marriage partner, get along better in the world. It helps you develop your area of respect. So I think the mitzvah of Kibbud Av V'Em should be done to develop you as a person as well. And because our parents gave birth to us and gave us the gift of life, we owe them endless gratitude. And how do we show them the gratitude? We should give them positive attention, lots of love. Yes, we need loving kisses. We should smile, we should kiss our parents. We should say, oh, how we love you. Praise them. Oh, Mom, that was a great dinner. We should thank them and say, gee, thank you so much, Mom and Dad, for what you did for me. Buy them small gifts. Write them love notes. We love positive letters. Really, Dad, you're the best dad. And try to share with them your feelings. Now, one thing I think children do, especially adolescents, you could say it's not so disrespectful. They ignore their parents, or they talk to the parents in a monotone. They talk to them in a way that makes their parents feel so unloved, so unappreciated. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. Hi, Michal. How are you?
Fine.
How was your day at school?
Good.
Did you like that sandwich I made for you? I made you a roast beef sandwich. I even remembered to put in a pickle.
Yeah.
I'm really feeling terrible. How was school today? I mean, did you make any friends?
No.
Okay, this is not the way you're supposed to behave, and this is not the way my Michal behaves. No, really, the truth is, I did this role play at a speech, and everyone came over to me and said, you must have been in my home. You must have been at my house and seen how my child treats me. And so you're saying, well, she's not being disrespectful, but she is. She's causing her parent great pain. Her parent feels shut out of her life. Let's show you how you should come home from school. Hi, Michal, how are you?
Good, Baruch Hashem. How was your day, Mommy?
Oh, fine.
Oh, that's good. Oh, Mommy, I wanted to thank you so much for making me an extra special sandwich. And the pickle, it really added to my day.
Oh,
Thanks, Ma.
that's so great. I'm happy you enjoyed it. Anything happen? Any problems in school?
Oh, well, I kind of got back a math test, but I didn't do too well on.
Oh, you tried, right?
I really did. I studied really hard. I'm sorry. I won't let it happen again.
It's okay. Anyway, if Michal comes home like this, you feel wonderful. You really do. She makes you feel special. She makes you feel cared about. So there's a very big difference. And I think one of the things you should do is you should try to cook and shop and work with your parents. If your parents tell you to do something, smile and say, I'll do it with pleasure. I'll do it right away. I'd love to do it. If it's hard for you to say I'll do it with pleasure, no problem. I'll do it right away. And I think you should try to be helpful to your parents. Try to serve them. If it's hot and they come home, say, Mom, you want a cold drink? If it's cold and they come home, would you like a hot drink? Help carry their bags. And some of the mitzvahs of kavod also are very, very important. And I'm not going to go through all the mitzvahs, but I just want to mention the mitzvah of kavod that's very important is to really provide your parents with all their needs cheerfully. And the mitzvah of yira, which we're focusing on today more, is really to try not to sit in your parents' place, never to wake your parents up, unless they say, please wake me up at this and this time, I have to be someplace, and to speak in a gentle and pleasant tone. That's so important, a very sweet and gentle tone. And never to embarrass your parents. I think that's very, very important, not to embarrass your parents. And I think that also to apologize to your parents if you do something wrong. And I think we really love when you're positive with us. It actually shows us your gratitude. So you should avoid frowns and grouchy faces. You should avoid angry tones or criticism saying, you never take me anyplace. You never go anywhere with me. Or complaints. You know, I hate that dinner. I really hate it. Instead say, Mommy, could you please make me another dinner? There's a big difference in the way you speak. There's a big difference in the tone. And ignoring your parents, that's another thing adolescents sometimes do, makes them feel awful. Disobeying or refusing to comply with the request, why do I have to do it? Why can't Sarah do it? Okay, instead of that, what we'd like to show you is you get up in the morning and you cheerfully say,
Good morning, Mommy.
oh, that's a nice way to start the day. Or you can start the day, which is not so great.
Ma, tell Yoni to stay in my dress. He already lost my best pen. What's for breakfast? I'm starving. I eat in 10 hours. Why do I have to clean the bath for the baby? She's the one who spilled the milk. Excuse me.
Oh, when you start your morning like that, you have a big headache. So let's try not to start off with such a grouchy morning. Let's try to start with the good morning, Mommy, the very pleasant way of greeting your mother in the morning. Because by the time you finish with such a statement, you are going to feel drained and very, very upset. And you're going to have a big headache, and you want your child to greet you happily.
Thank you, Dr. Respler. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Yehuda. The presentation that you heard is very important, so listen to Dr. Respler. Treat your parents with respect in Derech Eretz. Remember that honoring your parents is like honoring Hashem, and you will merit Arichas Yamim, long life.
My Zayd was a chassid back in Kleisenberg. He was the Holy Rebbe's right-hand man. He sang the best nigunim that you ever heard. If you live there, you really understand. The Rebbe turned to him and said, Reb Herzl, inspire us with one of your sweet tunes. thank you to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for his Torah and his holy Jews. While they made music for the Rebbe, you could hear their voices ring. If you close your eyes and listen, you could hear the angels sing. When Chassid and Joy together, they would dance throughout the night. The candles and the Spirit together burning bright. They made music for the Rebbe, you could hear their voices ring. If you close your eyes and listen, you could hear the angels sing. When Chassid and Joy together, they would dance throughout the night. The candles and the Spirit together burning bright. My Zayir was a vision to Menagim. When he davened, he could make the people cry.
Everybody, I need your help with this song. After I sing Maida, I need everybody to clap with me twice. 2 claps after Maida. Here we go. Maida, after love, Maida, Maida, after love, Maida, after love, Maida, Maida, after love.
Expressing feelings. This is a very important point because I think we love our parents, but sometimes it's hard for them to share with us their feelings. Maybe they're going through a hard time. Maybe, God forbid, someone's sick in the family, their financial problems, their difficulties at home, and you're feeling shut out, and you want to help your parents express their feelings to you. How do you do it in a respectful way? I think parents mean to share with you feelings, but sometimes it's just uncomfortable for them. They're feeling uncomfortable, they're going through hard times, and we're going to show you how to get your parents to share feelings with you. Okay, this is Tzachi.
Ma, what's going on with Bubby? Is everything okay? Why is everybody running around and calling her?
I don't want to discuss it.
If it was possible if you could tell me tonight or today, I'd really appreciate it. I can't concentrate on my schoolwork. I'm miserable. It's better if you tell me something bad than not knowing something at all.
Okay, maybe I'll tell you later. Now, do you hear what he's saying? It's better if you tell me something bad than not knowing something at all. And do you see how nicely he's speaking to me? He says, is it possible, Mommy? Could you tell me later? I know something's going on. Is it possible? And that's really the way to speak to a parent. I know you may be listening to me and saying this, is it possible? How can I speak to my mother with the word, is it possible? I'm not used to speaking that way to my parents. In the beginning, it may be difficult. But with time, you're going to get used to it. And I'm telling you, you're going to be a superstar. Because not only will your parents feel positive about you, your teachers will love it too. And all grown-ups, because I think when you treat someone with respect, they give you respect as well. Thank you, Tzachi. Okay. Now, I think there are also ways to complain to parents. Sometimes children, you're upset with your parents just like they don't express their feelings to you. You have to express your feelings to them, and we're talking about expressing feelings. And you want to complain to your parents, but you have to say it in a way that it shouldn't sound very negative. So first we're going to show you the negative way. This is Orit, that she complains. Instead of saying to your father,
You never take me anywhere.
so this makes the father feel hurt. He feels, I don't want to take you anywhere if that's how you talk to me. Say it in a positive way.
I really appreciate you taking me more places with you.
Okay, that sounds nice. I'll try to take you more places. Instead of saying to your mother,
You don't listen to my point of view.
which is also negative in the you, use the I feel message.
I really want you to listen to me more carefully. I want to be understood.
Again, she's using the I feel message. She's talking about her feelings. It's much less you. In fact, you really shouldn't speak to your parents, you this, you that. That's a respectful way to speak. I feel. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about how we express our concerns. Timing. Is it a good time to talk? Is my parent in a good frame of mind? Are they very upset now? Don't talk to anyone when they're very upset. And I say this even to my patients. Someone's angry, someone's blowing, someone's acting really upset. That's not the time to communicate with them. Wait till they cool down. You can talk to them later. Speak in a calm, respectful way. Remember the tone. We talk about the tone. Nice tones. And explain your concerns and your feelings using the I feel message. Explain them. First of all, you're less defensive. And you know, I have to tell you, even with your friends, girls, it's so great when you say to them, I feel bad about this, instead of, you did this and this to me. You get more places in life, anywhere where you'll grow up, with your bosses, with any relationship. When you talk in an I feel message, it's less prone to causing someone to become defensive. So I really think that those are the issues you really have to work on when you express your feelings. Okay, we're going to go into when parents don't understand you, and they make excessive demands. You know, parents are very, very busy people, and they really can't always take out the time to listen to you, and sometimes they really don't understand you. They don't mean to not understand you, but they're just not listening, and they're making lots and lots of demands on you. How do you deal with such a parent with derech eretz? And again, this whole lecture is really focused on parents are people. They sometimes don't do everything perfectly, but you have the chiyuv of kibbud av va'em, even if your parent is not perfect, because nobody's perfect. And they do love you, and they mean well for you. Okay, so parents don't understand you because parents can be busy, and I'm going to show you a role play, and I'm going to show you a little bit of an obnoxious mother. So I'm putting a disclaimer here, and we'll start. You know, the director in camp is in town, and I made it a point for you to meet with him, and I think he may give you a job, Michal. It'll be great.
Ma, I told you I don't want to go to camp for the summer.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. You're going to love it once you get there. You're going to love it. You're going to have your friends. Everyone's going to camp. You'll be all together with a harmony. It's going to be great.
Ma, I don't want to go.
You're ridiculous. You know what? It's just a matter of
Ma,
time.
I'm not going.
You and your mouth. I can't take it. Okay, first of all, the mother in this situation wasn't exactly appropriate. She was a little bit very, first of all, if the daughter doesn't want to go to camp, she shouldn't have just made an appointment for her to meet with him. She should have discussed it with her before. But second of all, the child, even though the mother may have been a little bit strong, should not have responded that way. Instead, the mother should have said, the child should have said, the mother's going to be the same mother. We're not changing the mother. We're just changing how the child responds to the mother. Oh, the director of camp is coming in, and I made an appointment for you to meet with him.
But Mommy, don't you remember? I told you, I don't want to go to camp.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. You'll have such a good time. All your friends, you'll have harmony, you'll get together, you'll have a ball.
I know, Ma, but I just don't feel ready to go to camp yet. I'm scared. Don't you understand how I feel?
Okay, listen how she's talking. First of all, her tone is beautiful. I know, Ma, I'm scared. Do you understand how I feel? So she's speaking in a very soft tone, and she's trying to get her mother to understand her feelings. I guess I understand how you feel. Maybe we could do something about your feelings. And you're probably saying, I don't know if a mother's going to change so quickly her mind. But I think if you talk in a sweet tone, and you try to present your case nicely, and you use the I feel message, you're more likely to be successful. Thank you. Okay, we're going on to discuss, let me just go on and discuss with you timing. Again, we're going back to, is it a good time to talk? Is the parent in a receptive frame of mind? And you have to speak in a calm, respectful manner, very, very calmly and respectfully. And listen, repeat your parent's message to see if you understand her. Really, give the parent feedback and explain your concerns using the I feel message. And request feedback. Did you understand what I said, Mommy? Is that okay? So this allows better communication and a better relationship. And our next part is when parents make excessive demands. And I have to tell you, parents love you. They want everything from you. They want you to be great students. They want you to have great midos. They want you to be polite and really do well, have friends and be happy. But sometimes they put a little bit too much pressure on you, but they really want the best for you. So I think sometimes we have to realize that parents, not meaning to, put a little bit too much pressure on their children. And this is the wrong way we're going to show you. Even though the parent is putting pressure, this is the wrong way the child is responding. Goldie, could you please give Ellie a bath and put it to bed for me?
Ma, again? I can't do this anymore. I have so much work in the house. I have to make the sandwiches, I have to clean my room, I have to wash the dishes, I have to sweep the floor. Ma, it's never ending. I have no time for anything anymore. Ma, I can't do it. I have no time to call my friends. I have no time to...
Okay, I hear you. You have a big mouth. I don't want to get into a discussion with you. Okay, so this is a negative way for a child to answer, even though the child is right. The mother is putting too much pressure on her. Let's look at the positive way for the child to respond. Goldie, could you please give Ellie a bath and put him to bed for me?
Sure, Mommy, but is it possible to lessen my load a little bit? Because I'm finding it hard that with all my chores, I really don't have time for anything anymore.
Okay, it's possible. And I like the way you asked me.
Thanks, Ma.
And listen to how she said, is it possible? Is it possible for you to lessen my load? Instead of screaming and aggravating, she said it in a very nice tone, a polite tone. And again, we talked about, even though it may be difficult for you in the beginning, using the is it possible is the respectful way to go. Thank you. Okay, so again, is it a good time to talk? Is your parents in a receptive frame of mind? Listen, and start off by agreeing. Say, okay, Mommy, did you hear? She said, okay, Mommy, but is it possible? Because when you say yes, or you're right, or okay, your ears open. And this is a great technique for anyone, because the minute someone hears they're right, they feel like listening to you much more. And ask, don't demand. That's the way you speak to your parent. Continue this interesting program with what happens when parents limit you. Okay, we were talking about the different challenges of Derech Eretz, and what happens when your parents say no to you. Nobody likes to hear no, right? We all like to hear yes. But think about it. Sometimes your parents have to say no to you. Sometimes what looks very, very wrong, later you see that they were right to say no. How do you accept the fact that your parents are limiting you? How could you deal with it? It's a difficult situation because you're really feeling that you want that yes. You want to be heard and you want to be accepted. But nonetheless, you have to realize as a young person that in order to grow up to be a special person, you have to grow up normally and you have to get the no. In fact, you know I'm a therapist, and sometimes when I see children, there are people who would never, no one ever said no to them. The parents felt that they should always give in to them. They should always give in to everything that they say and do. When they do that, when they really try to give in to everything they say and do, the children grow up with problems. So really your parents are doing you a favor. When they say no to you sometimes, when they limit you, when they limit your issues, when they limit what you're supposed to be doing, they are helping you to grow up to be special, happy, moral people. And to really follow the Derech HaTorah. Okay, so that's the first thing. If you could think about it when your parents limit you, if you could accept it a little more as something they're doing to actually help you. And we're going to first show you the wrong way how to handle the limits and then the right way. Dina, your father and I have a new rule. No telephone calls until after your homework is completed.
Why? You know I have to do my homework on the phone lots of times. How can I ever follow a rule like that?
Well, your marks have been getting lower and lower, and we feel that this is the remedy to the problem. So that's it. No more telephone calls until after your homework is completed.
You're not being fair. By the time I'm finished with my homework, I won't be able to talk on the phone. I won't have any friends left.
That's too bad. You're just going to have to get used to it, young lady. Okay, so obviously the mother's being a little bit challenging, and she's being disrespectful as well. Let's show you the right way. Dina, your father and I have a new rule. No telephone calls until after your homework is completed.
Oh, you want me to do my homework before talking on the phone? Would it be possible for you to explain the reason for this new rule?
Okay, see how nicely she's talking? Would it be possible for you to explain the reason for this new rule? Yeah, your marks have been getting lower and lower, and we think this is the remedy for the problem.
Ah, you feel that my low marks are due to my speaking on the phone, but I can explain myself. You see, I use the phone for studying lots of times. It actually helps me with my homework. Also, if I start my homework right after supper, say around 7, I will be finished till 10, and that will be too late to call anybody.
Well, what do you suggest? How could we work it out that you could do your homework and talk on the phone? What do you think is possible?
Well, I never have more than 3 hours of homework. So if I started around 7, and then I could finish most of my homework by 9, would it be possible if I could talk on the phone from 9 to 9:30 and then finish the rest?
That sounds fair to me. I'm going to speak to your father about it. And I like the way you said that to me. I definitely will speak to your father about it, and we'll see what we can work out. Thank you very much. And I really do like the way she said it to me. She negotiated a deal. She did it with respect. She used the word, is it possible? Can I explain? She did not answer back, and she answered in such a nice tone. And that's really what it's all about. That's how you want to reach your parents. Again, we have to think about timing. Is it a good time to talk? Is your parent in a receptive frame of mind? You speak in a calm, respectful manner. And you listen. And you try to repeat your parents' message to show them that you understood. And don't demand, you have to do it for me. Don't talk like that to your parents. Try to get used to the, is it possible? And I want to talk about the next thing that I think is very, very painful. When parents criticize you, they love you, but they criticize you, and sometimes they could destroy your sense of self. They could destroy your self-esteem, because if your friend tells you your hair doesn't look so good, okay. But if your parent tells you, it really destroys your sense of self. it really destroys your self-esteem. So I think you have to really think about it. If your parents tell you something, don't realize that they mean to tell you to be helpful, but they're criticizing you. Maybe they're hurting your feelings. Maybe they're hurting your self-esteem. But don't take it as if they want to hurt your self-esteem. Don't start feeling nobody loves me. Instead, realize that their criticism is meant to actually help you. Okay, we're going to show you the wrong way and the right way of the criticism. Okay. Hi.
Mommy, I am so bored. I have nothing to do today.
Well, you never make any arrangements. How do you expect to have friends if you don't even make arrangements? I really think if you made arrangements early, you'd have friends, everything would work out.
I did make arrangements. It just doesn't work out.
Well, what happened? What did you do? What kind of arrangements?
I invited Rachel over on Thursday, and by the time Sunday came around, she was in bed with the flu. That's not my fault.
Oh, these things happen. You know it happens. You're being very immature. Of course it happens. You have to...
I tried.
Oh, you make arrangements. So these things happen. You still make arrangements.
Ma, you don't like the way I do anything.
I don't like the way you talk to me. Okay, so obviously the whole situation escalated. The mother was not being very understanding, but the daughter could have rephrased the whole situation. Let's do it the right way.
Mommy, I am so bored. I have nothing to do today.
Well, if you would make some arrangements and you'd plan ahead, you'd have friends, you'd have arrangements, you'd have friends. Like this, you have no friends, nothing to do.
Ma, it hurts me when you tell me I have no friends, and I did try to make arrangements.
Okay, now she says, it hurts me. I feel bad when you tell me I don't have friends, which is a very nice way because the mother's sort of feeling a little uncomfortable. I see. Well, I didn't mean you don't have friends. You just don't have so many friends. But you would have more friends if you made arrangements early.
Okay, Mom. I'll try, really. I'll try to make more arrangements earlier. Thank you.
Okay, so she first of all accepts her parents' message. I'll try to make arrangements earlier. And she says, thanks, Ma. So I think that's really the right way. I want, if your parents really try to sometimes be critical of you, I want you to try to accept it in a positive way. And try to realize that they're trying to help you to grow up to be positive human beings, and don't take it so personally. Don't let it destroy your self-esteem. Okay, now I want to end with our last role play, and I want to point out what you should do if your parents ask you to do something, how you should do it. So this is the wrong way. Okay. Tzachi, I'd like you to put your books away right now.
I just want to finish this little page, please.
I want you to put this book away right now.
I just want to finish this little teeny weeny page. It's not fair.
I'm just asking you to go to sleep and put this book away.
But I just want to finish this little teeny weeny page, please.
You know, every time I tell you to do something, you tell me you just want to finish this little teeny weeny page. I want you to go to sleep, I want you to listen, and I want you to do it now.
But it's not fair. I just want to finish this little page.
Don't contradict me.
I'm not. I just want to finish this little page. It's not fair.
You and your mouth. I don't want to talk to you.
But I just want to finish this little page.
He's pretty stubborn. He doesn't let go of that page. Okay, let's talk about the right way. Tzachi, I'd like you to go to sleep and put your books away.
But if it was possible, if I could just finish the little page, I really appreciate it.
Okay, listen how he's talking. If it was possible, is it possible for me to finish this little page? I really would appreciate it. It's a very nice way to talk. But even though it's a nice way to talk, the mother doesn't always have to give in, and this time she's not going to give in. No, I want you to put your books away right now, and I want you to go to sleep. Every time it's another page and another page. It's late, and I'd like you to go to sleep right away.
But Ma, I said it nicely. Why can't I just finish the little page?
Because I really would like you to go to sleep.
Sorry, Mommy, I'll go straight to sleep.
Okay, sorry, Mommy, I'll go straight to sleep. He tried to negotiate. I said it nicely. Is it possible? But at the end, he does go along with his mother, and he says, sorry, Mommy. It's a big Yetzer Hara to say sorry, Mommy, but it's a very nice way to talk. Thank you very much. Okay, so these are my messages to you as we're finishing this. I really, really want you to try in all your heart, to try very hard to be Mekayim this mitzvah of Kibbud Av V'Em, because it'll make you a better person. First of all, according to the Torah, you'll have arichus yamim. You'll have a long life and a happy life. So that's a very important thing. Second of all, believe it or not, if you treat your parents with respect, I know you're not thinking about your children yet, but your children will treat you with respect. Really, children learn from their parents how to treat their parents. They learn if their parents treat their parents with respect, they're going to treat you with respect. And that's what you want. You want to get your children to treat you with respect. And lastly, remember, my most powerful message, remember your tone. Say it in a sweet, positive tone. And remember to say, if you can, I'll do it right away. And if you can, even say more, with pleasure, Mommy, with pleasure, Daddy, I'll do it right away. And those are my messages to you. And I think you're going to be happier with yourselves, you're going to be Mekayim the mitzvah, and you're going to have arichas yamim. Questions from our audience, and we're going to start with our first brave young woman, and if she'd like to come up. Okay, what's the question that you'd like to ask?
What should you do if both of your parents ask you to do something at the same time?
Okay, what do you do, and this is a very important question, what do you do if both of your parents ask you the same question at the same time? Now, there is a halachic answer to this question. If, in fact, let's say your mother has a need and she wants a glass of water, and your father says, take out the garbage, you first have to do what your mother's asking you, because you have to do the need first. Or if it's the opposite, if your mother tells you to take out the garbage and your father says he wants a glass of water, then you first give your father the glass of water. So it's really based on what's more important and what's the need. Thank you very much for the question. Okay, we're going to give her a hand. Okay, sweetheart, you want to ask a question? You can face the camera. Just ask a question, honey. Go ahead.
What should you do if you're in a fight with your parents and you think you are right and your parents think they're right?
Okay, this is a very brave young woman who came up, and you're saying you feel you're right and they feel they're right. And I think this is not an unusual situation when you get into an argument with your parents, but it's how you phrase it. Remember, we were talking about, is it possible, Mommy? Is it possible? Can I explain my point of view? I feel unfairly accused. I'd like to explain the way I see it. Now again, you can explain everything that's your point of view. They still may not agree with you, and they don't have to agree with you. That's something I have to be clear with you. Even if you use the is it possible, as you remember in the last role play with Tzachi, sometimes you have to say, okay, Mommy, you're right. That's it. I'm sorry, Mommy. The parent's word is the last word. So even though you can say, is it possible, and you can explain your point of view, and maybe if you explain it with derech eretz, like it's more likely that your parents will agree with you and hear you, I still feel that it's their word, the last word. But I really appreciate your question. I appreciate you coming up. Okay, we're going to give her a hand. And we have the next questioner. Okay, we have to move over. Okay, go ahead, sweetie.
What should you do if your parent gives someone the wrong information? Can you correct them?
Okay, excellent question. This is a halacha question too. What do you do if your parent gives someone the wrong information? Are you allowed to correct them? Now, the truth of the matter is, let's say you're standing on a corner and they give someone the wrong directions, and you know that person is going to get lost and really have a problem as a result of this, then you're allowed to correct them. Then you're allowed to say, is it possible, Mommy, that the train is going this way, it's the wrong directions, is it possible? Because you don't want to cause the other person to have a real problem. But if it's something that's the wrong information, what's her name wore a pink dress and she wore a blue dress, it's really not so important, you should never embarrass your parents, unless it's going to cause someone else pain. And then even if you do it, you have to do it with derech eretz, you have to use the is it possible, and try to correct them in a very appropriate way. But I think it's a fantastic question because sometimes you're really faced with that problem. I really appreciate the question. Give her a hand. All right, you want to ask a question, sweetheart? Go ahead.
Yeah, what do you do if your parents want you to wear certain clothes and you don't like them and you want to wear other clothes, but it's not a matter of sneas, you just don't like the clothes that your parents want you to wear.
Okay, clothes is a very big thing for adolescents. Very important thing to have the clothes that they feel comfortable, that gives them self-esteem. And I always say to my children, there are enough clothes out there that whatever we buy, we should both like. I should like and you should like. So I think you have to respectfully, because I know how hard it is for you to wear something you don't want to wear, respectfully say to your mother or father, you know, is it possible that I could really wear the clothes that I like? I really feel uncomfortable. Again, using the I feel message, I don't feel comfortable wearing these clothes. But if you went out and bought a gorgeous outfit and then a week later decided that you don't want to wear it, that's not fair to your mother either. But I'm sure you wouldn't do that. Okay, so again, is it possible, Mommy? Explain the I feel message. I feel more comfortable in different clothes. And I think in a nice tone you'll reach your mother. Okay? Thank you for the question. I want to end off by talking about a last story that is amazing in terms of a man may feed his family, his father, pheasant, which is fattened hens, and still go to Gehenna, whereas someone who made his father work ended up in Gan Eden. And what does this story tell us? There was a man who, the Gemara tells this story. There was a man who actually was really very poor, and the king put out an edict that someone had to go and grind stone for the king. And he was very worried that his father would be picked to go. So he told his father, you take over my work at home, I'm going to go with the king, because the king works you very hard, and I don't want you to work so hard. So he spared his father the hurts, even though his father did have to work for him at home. And because of this, he merited Gan Eden. In another story, however, there was a man who did just the opposite. He was very rich. He did not ask his father to eat, to work or to do anything. But when he gave his father the fattened hens, the delicious fattened hens, he said to his father, here are the hens. And his father said, oh, son, where did you get this beautiful, delicious food? He said, here, old man, eat. Can you imagine? He talked to his father in the worst kind of tone. And even though he supported his father and he gave him this delicious hens, even though he wasn't Zochet to Olam Haba, he did not have the Schus of Olam Haba. And I would like to end by telling you, treat your parents, treat them even a little bit like strangers. Someone comes into your house, you say, hi, how are you? Can I get you a drink? But to your parents, you won't talk as nicely. Even to your uncles and aunts, you're so polite and pleasant. And your friends, you're very nice to your friends. So I think you have to put your parents in that category. Remember to use the is it possible. In the beginning, it may be difficult. After a while, you'll get used to it, and you'll feel very comfortable with it. And again, you will feel better about yourself. You'll get along better at work. If you learn how to be respectful, you'll get along better with your teachers. You'll get along better in life. But there's also something very important that I've been hearing a lot in my office. I've been hearing a lot even from my friends and from different people. Derech eretz that you have between each other. And what does that mean? It means that, let's say, you're in a clique or you're in a group. Does it make you feel better to leave someone out? That's also part of derech eretz. In other words, you may think that, oh, I'm going to be friends with her, and I'm going to leave the other one out. And for that minute, I'm going to feel better about myself because I left her out. But maybe for that minute, you're going to feel better. But for after that minute, you won't feel that much better. Because afterwards, when you think about it, maybe even for a while, you'll feel better. Oh, I'm so important. I have this friend. I have this clique, and this one can't get into the clique. But if think about it, because tomorrow, you could be the one out of the clique, right? And think about it, what pain you're causing that other person. That's also a thing of derech eretz. You have to have derech eretz for one another as well. You have to respect each other's feelings. And I wanted to mention this because I think we're talking about a whole derech eretz program. It doesn't only happen in the girls' schools, it happens in the boys' schools. They make fun of each other. Sometimes they leave each other out. You can't be in this sports game. You can't be here. You can't be there. So think about it. How important it is to have derech eretz for one another. How important it is to care about each other and care about each other's feelings. It really, really is important. And I think that is a message that, we're going to talk a little bit more. Of course, the most important thing is about derech eretz to your parents. And when you have derech eretz for your parents, it makes you, in general, a better person. You'll see, you'll grow up, you'll have more derech eretz for your boss, you'll have more derech eretz for your husband, you'll have more respect for people in general, definitely for your teachers, and for other people, and for each other. So I just wanted you to think about this, leaving people out, the clickiness, the friendship issue, and how important it is and how much better a person you're going to be if you play with everyone, include everyone, make everyone feel part of the group. Because what do you really gain when you leave someone out? For the minute, maybe you feel, oh, I'm more important. But later on, you realize you really hurt that person. And the next day, it could happen to you. And I want to thank very, very much the girls at Shulamit for helping me do this video. They were wonderful. They were quiet. They were a credit to Shulamit School. And I really appreciate your participation. Thank you very much. And just try to be Mekayim the mitzvah of Kibud Av V'em. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Respler. Thank you.
Like all the other animals, Hashem created with a love. But the dog was extra special, for it was so pure and white. Hashem sent it to the forest to turn the darkness into light. But all the animals were jealous, and their hatred grew so strong. They plotted ways to rid themselves of the dog and his sweet songs. First the tiger, then the jackal, then the bear, and then the snake. When they attacked, the dog would run, and the dog barely escaped. So the dog turned to Hashem, tears streaming down his cheeks. I feel that I am all alone, with no one close to me. But then from under Hashem's throne, where he stores his precious things, he gave the dog a special gift. He gave the dog his wings. And he said, higher, higher, higher than the sky. Higher, higher, it's as high as you can fly. You'll fly up to the heavens, even higher than me. Higher, higher, you'll fly so close to me. The dog went to the forest with confidence and pride. He'd never have to run again, and he'd never have to hide. He would always be protected, and now that he had wings, he would sit up in a treetop, and the moon would hear him sing. But all the animals were furious when they saw the dove's new wings. It was as if Hashem was telling them that the dove would be their king. So they pounced upon the dove, and he could barely fly. They left him torn and wounded. They left him there to die. So the dog turned to Hashem, and he cried, it isn't fair. These precious wings you gave to me, that I always have to wear. They are so very heavy, much more than I can bear. Please take me from the forest, I cannot make it there. And then I shelter to the dog, a child is understanding.
if you use your wings for flying, they'll never weigh you down. And you'll fly up so much higher, those who live up on the ground.
Music for the Rebbe, you could hear their voices ring. If you closed your eyes and listened, you could hear the angels sing. When Hasidim joined together, they would dance throughout the night. The candles and the spirit together burning bright. They made music for the Rebbe, you could hear their voices ring. If you close your eyes and listen, you could hear the angels sing. When Hasidim joined together, they would dance throughout the night. The candles and the spirit together burning bright. Tohirasi